What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 23 My Team career mode. Last time out we were at the Australian Grand Prix, and after a strong qualifying in P5 we fluctuated up and down the grid for a bit, and in the end we finished in P5. So yeah, another fantastic 10 points for our team, and yeah, definitely well on our way to hopefully reaching our sponsorship target of finishing P6 in the championship come the end of the season. We're currently P5 in the Constructors' Championship, so we've got a place we could lose potentially if we needed to. But we've got a bunch of teams who are hot on our heels at the moment. You know, there's probably, I'd say, 7 teams on the grid who are better than us at the moment, including, you know, obviously the obvious ones, and then also McLaren, Alpine, Aston Martin, maybe even Haas. Both of our rushed aero upgrades actually worked amazingly, which I was very, very happy about. So yeah, that's optimistic. But we don't actually have any more upgrades that we can do at this moment in time. We're going to have to wait either to get some more resource points or for some upgrades to finish before we're going to be able to get any more upgrades on the car. So for now, we're just playing the waiting game. No more durability upgrades we can get, so that one was meaningless. And now we're presented with a dilemma. Do we want to sacrifice some resource points for some acclaim? And, well, I have to say that probably the answer is going to be yes, because the more acclaim we get, the more cash we get. The more cash we get, the quicker we can upgrade facilities. The quicker we upgrade facilities, the more resource points we can get. So we spend those resource points now, and then we should get them back faster in the future, and that's the idea there. Next thing I want to get is the resource point generation upgrade for the chassis department. That will upgrade that to Spec 2 as well, which means we'll have a bunch more upgrades we can do in the chassis department. That's, I think, what I'm going to go for now, is getting all of those to Spec 2 first of all. Then we'll probably try and get all Spec 2 upgrades in the personnel and marketing facilities, and then after that we you know, we can look towards bulking out the other 4 facilities, or the car facilities, and then getting those to Spec 3, and then so on and so forth. You know, it's going to be a long process. It'll probably take until about Season 4 or Season 5, I reckon, before we have everything Spec 3. But, you know, such is the nature of playing on Reduced. That's why I do it. You know, I want it to be a long-form career mode. The game's not even been out for 2 months yet. We've still got another, you know, probably about 10 months or so in this game's life cycle, at least, you would have to estimate. So I've got plenty of time to get up to the front of the grid and be fighting at the front of the grid. And last year's game, we did 7 full seasons. In this year's game, I'm planning on doing 10. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. We are now into the Chinese Grand Prix weekend. I don't know if I said that we were going to be at China this weekend or not, but yeah, we're returning here, much like it is apparently returning to the calendar in 2024 in real life, but I will believe it when I see it, because they've been saying that for years and it's never come back. And we actually did pretty well. We finished P7 in the standings in practice. However, we also had a very strong practice in Australia, if I remember correctly. We were P1, and we were kind of nowhere. I mean, not nowhere. We finished P5 in quali, right? We were actually in a pretty good spot, but it wasn't pole, which is what the form suggested we might be. So you can't really take anything away from these kinds of sessions. You just have to accept that, yeah, maybe we'll be good, maybe we won't, who knows, we'll figure it out when we get there. But yeah, 7th place certainly is optimistic for us, and if we can finish there in qualifying, I'll be pretty happy with that. It'll allow us to get our sponsorship bonuses on the car, or sorry, in the bank, I suppose. And yeah, then we can hopefully invest in some more facilities much faster, upgrade the car faster, and be challenging towards the front of the field that much sooner. But it is now time for qualifying at the Formula 1 Chinese Grand Prix. It's been so long since we last raced here. It doesn't even have a sponsor anymore. We're literally just called the Chinese Grand Prix. And yeah, we're going to see if we can make it through to Q3 for the 4th time this season. We made a Q3 appearance in every single qualifying session so far this year. Let's keep up that streak if we can. And we're on a fresh set of tyres to kick things off. We crossed the line. It's a 132.9. We're behind both Aston Martins, ahead of both Haas's. And I'm pretty happy with the position that we're in at the moment. Hopefully we can continue on this trajectory, but as we come around the final corner, I didn't want to risk it, so I did go on to another set of fresh tyres. We were in 12th, so I think we would have been fine, but we crossed the line, we improved by 6/10, and that sees us through to the following session, obviously, in P7. So yeah, very strong. If we can continue that level of performance that we had in Q1 through to Q2, then maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to get through to Q3 and maybe even challenge sort of in the top 8 or thereabouts. Hauger is out in P21 again, along with Hulkenberg, which is a bit of a surprise. Fittipaldi, Sargent, Sonoda, and De Vries. Yeah, disappointing for Haas. They definitely don't have a car that's worth being knocked out. Really, Hulkenberg should have been out qualifying the likes of Albon and Joe in slightly worse machinery, I would say. But no dice for him. He will be taking no further part in qualifying. This game definitely not representing the qualifying pace that Nico Hulkenberg has shown in real life this year. But yeah, no, either way, his teammate Kevin Magnussen got quite comfortably through as we're now into Q2, and it started to rain as I was on a flying lap on soft tyres. The DRS got disabled literally after I crossed the finish line. It was 140.1, and in the end that was the only run I had to do, because after that it got wet. A few people didn't have time to go out on the softs, they had to go out on the inters, and we just about snuck through to Q3 in P10. Meanwhile, the eliminated drivers are Piastri, Joe, George Russell, the defending champion, Norris, who's been having a good run of form, and Gasly and Albon as well. So, yeah, a lot of disappointment for some of these guys, you would have to say, especially the likes of Russell and Norris, who definitely should be contending further up the field. Piastri had a really strong start to the season. He was P3 in quali in Bahrain, but he just has not been able to match that level of performance since then. We make our way through to Q3 now, and it's gone from being, you know, soft tyre conditions at the start of Q2 to wet tyre conditions at the start of Q3. So, yeah, it's really started pouring it down here in Shanghai. And as we round the final corner across the line, it's a 148.5. We're faster than Ocon, but that's about the only person we're faster than at the moment. So we're going to have to find a bit more improvement, I think, if we're going to have any hope. But fortunately, the track dries up a little bit over the course of the session. It's now time for intermediate tyres. And, well, we're already improving by quite a lot. We're almost 3 seconds up as we come through the Max Chilton section. And, I mean, it's going to be about 3.5 seconds, I reckon, by the time we exit this corner, which is pretty good, because that would put us on par with Valtteri Bottas. We've still got a couple corners to go. I wonder how much time we can save through those. We're looking at least 6th place here, and we're going to improve through these corners because of the conditions. As long as we don't bottle it, we should be fine. 2 more corners to go as we come through the hairpin at the end of the back straight, and we make up another sort of 3/10, maybe 4/10. And then we come through the final corner. We're going to make up more time again, 4.1 seconds, 4.2. And as we cross the line, it's going to be a 1:44.2.
Okay, good job, mate. Really, really well done. That was a fantastic drive. Bring it home.
And it was good enough for pole position. That is our first pole position in Formula One. Yes, it came in variable conditions. Yes, you know, you might say, oh, well, it doesn't really count because, you know, you went last, but it counts. I'm going to be starting from first tomorrow off merit. I was faster than everyone else. I don't care when they went out versus when I went out. I was the fastest driver today, this Saturday, on the Chinese Grand Prix circuit, and so no one can take that away from me. And yes, that is my first pole position in Formula One, coming at a similar time, if I'm not mistaken, to when my first pole position was in F1 22 as well. I believe that was Silverstone Season 2, so a little bit earlier this time. But it makes sense, you know, we're developing a little bit faster than we were in that year's game, in no small part due to the fact that we didn't have a string of 19 finishes outside of the points to kick off our championship. We actually scored points in our, I believe it was our 5th race in Formula One this time. So yeah, much nicer this time. I'll just show you quickly, because I didn't show you before, progress history. We actually did do a few upgrades. We're currently on par with around sort of Alpine McLaren level. Haas are way further up. They're actually the 3rd fastest car at the moment. But yeah, I don't really personally believe that. So yeah, the fact that we're contending with these guys now in the performance index is good. But you know, I mean, we'll see what kind of pace we show once we actually get into the Chinese Grand Prix proper. We're going to rush another aero upgrade. You know, I'm getting really cocky now, and yeah, we're going to see if we can maintain the lead and maybe go for our first race win as we get into the Chinese Grand Prix.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. A race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. Shanghai International Circuit then is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests the driver's patience, and the flat open to the elements location tests their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Robinson lines up on pole position, with Lance Stroll alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, Bottas, Sainz, Magnussen, Ocon, Zhou, Norris, Gasly, Albon, Hulkenberg, Fittipaldi, Sargent, Tsunoda, Hauger, Oscar Piastri, De Vries, and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And we welcome Anthony Davidson to the commentary box once again. And how does the driver set themselves apart from the rest of the pack today?
My focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing a lot of strong competition across those positions, so it would be super interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please.
I completely agree. I want at least a top 10 finish, preferably a top 5 finish. Am I in any illusions about whether I can win this race? Absolutely not. None at all. There is no chance that I could possibly win the Chinese Grand Prix. I have so many fast drivers behind me. We do not have the car to contend for it whatsoever. We're around the level of the McLarens and the Alpines, and honestly, I would be pretty surprised if we even managed to finish ahead of them, because I think that we're just kind of, you know, we're good on aero, but it takes a lot more than aero to be fast around a Formula 1 circuit. We need to invest in chassis and engine upgrades as well, and we don't have those at the moment. So I think that this is going to be a very difficult race for us. I just want to hold on to as many positions as I can. But like I said, I'm in no illusions about whether we're going to win this race or not. But we'll see what we can do as the lights come on. And the lights go out. And we've had a pretty good getaway given that we're on the medium tyres compared to those on the soft compound tyres around us. But Lance Stroll is putting us under pressure. And immediately he comes through up the inside as we go through the first couple of corners. And then here comes Fernando Alonso as well up the inside. And he has also made his way through into P2. And already we're in danger of falling off the podium. Sergio Perez on my outside with those soft compound tyres. Is he going to get the better traction? Yes, he is. And we've already been pushed off the podium. It's Lewis Hamilton-esque from us, as we can't convert a pole position even into a podium through the first couple of corners. And yes, we've fallen down into P4 already. Very disappointing, but it just looks like we don't have the pace around here. Struggling for grip or something like that. This seems to be another one of those tracks a bit like Baku, where it just seems like the AI have superior traction out of every single corner compared to me. We'll see what it's like when we have a few more upgrades on the car in future seasons. But yeah, I predict that this is going to be a bit of a struggle. If that's the level that we were showing to begin with here in Shanghai. But you can see that already they've broken over a second away from me, and I mean, Leclerc is closing me down quite significantly. He's already within about 2/10, and I think he might be sizing up a move. But Lance Stroll is currently in the lead of the race. If he can hold on to that, that will be his first race win in Formula 1, as Charles Leclerc now size up a move up the inside of me as we come into the hairpin. Is he going to make the move stick? I don't think so. We're going to go wheel to wheel through the hairpin. Who's it going to be on the exit? Am I going to get the better traction than him? It seems like we're still going wheel to wheel. Verstappen also trying to squeeze his way through. He does manage to do just that, but we make a little bit of contact there because I can't quite hold on to him. It's just not really wide enough for us to go too wide through there. That allows Bottas to go through up into P4, and now Verstappen is going to try and make his way through up into P5 as well. And we're coming under pressure from someone here. I think it's Charles Leclerc. Yes, it is, as Leclerc tries to make his way through into P6. This is who's going to win out here. It's probably going to be Leclerc on the outside of the corner. Is he going to get the better exit? I'm not quite sure. Yes, it seems like he is. Maybe he's burning a little bit of battery there as well. I'm not quite sure, but either way, that is 6 positions lost in the first first couple of laps, and a very disappointing start for us. It's less Lewis Hamilton-esque at that point and more Kevin Magnussen-esque, if you can cast your mind back to Brazil 2022 when he took pole, and by the end of lap 1 he was about P8. Speaking of Magnussen, there he goes, through on us. Not surprising, given how fast that Haas is at the moment. I'm honestly surprised that these guys aren't contending for podiums. They're two strong drivers in that Haas, but maybe they just don't have the facilities to get the most out of their driver, you know, simulation-wise or whatever. I'm not quite sure. But in any case, yes, that is going to be us pushed down into P8. And, I mean, our status as being in the points at the moment is coming under threat from Carlos Sainz on those soft compound tyres in the Ferrari behind us. I think we're going to be coming under a lot of pressure from him very shortly. As you can see, we're getting to the DRS zone now. We don't have DRS to Kevin Magnussen. That means we're just going to have battery to defend from Carlos Sainz, and that is not really going to be enough, I don't think. As you can see, he's just got a little bit extra straight line speed, but he's not going to be able to get to the outside of the corner again in time for the turn into the hairpin, and that might help us out a little bit. I do make a bit of contact with him there, but we don't manage to get any damage, and we do manage to sweep back around the outside. We're going to have the inside for the following corner. Is he going to try and sweep around the outside? No, he can't quite make it happen, and we do hold on to P8 for the time being, but this is very, very scary for us. I think, you know, at the rate we're going to be down with Dennis Hauger by the time that we get to lap 10. I'm really struggling at the moment, but you know, one thing is for certain, I won't be down with Dennis Hauger no matter what happens, because this is him going slowly now. I know that he's been going fairly slowly in that car to begin with, but yes, it is a mechanical failure, first of the season for our team, and it befalls my teammate Dennis Hauger. Unfortunate for him, but he is out of the race for the first time in Formula 1. And I am also being slowly put out of the race, not because my engine is blowing up or anything like that, but simply because I'm just washed. My car or something is completely lacking in pace compared to these guys. You can see I've been passed by Sainz, and now I'm coming under pressure from Nico Hülkenberg as well, who of course is in that Haas, which is extremely fast. But here he goes round the outside, gets the superior traction on the exit of that corner. There is nothing I can do to keep him behind, and now we're going to be coming under pressure from the Alfa Romeo of Joe. Surely we should be able to keep him behind, right? He's in an Alfa Romeo. That's a car we're actually faster than. So, you know, I would expect to at least be able to beat the Alfa Romeos, maybe the McLarens and the Alpines as well. But it seems like China, where I just don't excel like I used to. You know, I had numerous race wins here in F1 22, nice work, mate. And I was really coming into this expecting, you know, when I got that pole position, I was coming into it expecting, oh yeah, this is going to be a track where I reckon I can get a lot of positions. Maybe we can score some more points. I was really hoping that maybe we'd be even able to hold on to a podium, but no luck on that department. Hülkenberg made his way back past us after we overtook him on the previous lap. You know, we're just kind of swapping places with him right now. This is good because if I get the DRS to him, it means that I'm more likely to stay ahead of Lando Norris there in P11 and hold on to this 1 point that I'm battling over right now, maybe 2 points. If we're going to go at the inside of Hülkenberg here, I think we are. We just about managed to get it stopped in time as we make our way through the corner, and that is P9 for us once again. 2 points if we can finish in this position. But honestly, I'm worried that we're even going to be able to score points at this point. A lot of people on the softs are potentially going to pull off an undercut on me, and I don't think I'm going to have the pace on the hard tyres to close them back down. So I think once that happens, I'm going to be in a real predicament here. And yeah, we're going to be struggling like mad. You can see now as we make our way onto the following lap into the back straight once again, Hülkenberg is going to have that DRS on me. Is it going to be enough for him to make his way through very, very comfortably? He blitzes his way past me. It's not even really a contest. And yeah, that is us down into P10 once again. We're just swapping places back and forth with the German driver right now, and I think that unfortunately it's going to be him winning out this battle, because eventually I'm going to have some kind of moment or something like that. But as we make our way into lap 14, he's pitted now, as has pretty much every soft compound runner. Most of the medium compound runners have come in or are coming in on this lap or next. I think Gasly hasn't pitted yet, but Stroll obviously has. You can see he's fallen all the way down to P4 once Gasly's pitted, which is disappointing for Stroll because he was leading the race at one point. But we're coming into the pits. We're going to be putting on the hard compound tyres to the end of the Grand Prix, and we're going to be seeing if they have the pace to maybe keep us in the points, but I'm not sure. We'll see who goes through here. You can see Hülkenberg and Norris have already gone through, and yeah, Ocon managed to jump me in the pits somehow, even though I had a 2.4 second stop. I'm not really sure how that happened, but we definitely came in ahead, but somehow he managed to jump us. Russell too has jumped us, and that is us legitimately down into, I think, P14, maybe 13 once Gasly's done his stop. I'm not quite sure who's going to come out on top, whether it'll be me or Gasly. But yeah, at the moment it is Verstappen from Alonso from Perez out front. And we are in P14 behind Esteban Ocon in the Alpine. We'll see if we can close him down, but at the moment you can see he's pulling further and further away. He's outside of my DRS range, and that means that I'm going to have to worry about being susceptible to the car behind, which is Tsunoda in the Alfa Romeo. He's going to be closing me down, trying to dive up the inside here at the hairpin. Is he going to make the move stick? He definitely committed to it, I'll tell you that much. We try and go around the outside of him here. We're wheel to wheel as we go into the final corner. Is he going to yield? Am I going to yield? Not really. We managed to somehow keep it going wheel to wheel through there. Who's going to thrive on the run down to turn 1 now as we move on to lap 16? As you can see, we are going to just about come out ahead of Gasly there, and it is going to be me ahead of Tsunoda as well. So yeah, that is very, very fortunate that we've managed to stay ahead of him, and we're still in P13 for the time being, but a long way off the points. I don't think it's going to happen for us, you know. I think somehow, despite the fact that we qualified on pole, we didn't even have the pace to score points here today, which is absolutely embarrassing, quite frankly. But you know, I guess the setup worked better in quali than it did in the race. Although you'd have to say that I probably wouldn't have qualified there if it hadn't been for the weather as well. Meanwhile, Tsunoda, you can see, has made his way through on me now. He is up into P13, and yeah, that has pushed us back down into P14. But as we make our way onto lap 19 now, you can see that Pierre Gasly also is putting me under pressure. He's managed to make the overtake, and he is very comfortably ahead by the time we get to the braking zone, into the hairpin. So yeah, that is us down one more position into P15 now. This race just keeps going from bad to worse for us. This would be our worst finish in a very long time if we finish P15. I think Mexico was the last time we finished this far down, when we finished P17, so it would be pretty disappointing. But we are going to try and go for a move now on Yuki Tsunoda up the inside at turn 1, but he keeps his foot in, sticks it around the outside, and yeah, for us, unfortunately, that means that we are not quite able to make the move on him on lap 24. Only a few laps to go now if I do want to make this move stick on Yuki Tsunoda. You know, he's in a slower car. The Alfa Romeo is slower than us. We should at least every weekend be beating the Alfa Romeos, the Williamses, and the Alfa Tauris at minimum. And at the moment we're not doing that. However, we might be putting some pressure on Yuki Tsunoda here. We're going to be maybe ahead of him. No, we're wheel to wheel as we go into the hairpin now. I'm going to try and go around the outside, sweep around the outside, and we do manage to make the move on Yuki Tsunoda. But will he just get us right back through this following DRS zone? Let's see. He's going to have the DRS. I've only got a little bit of battery to work with here. I've not got a lot. So it's going to be close between me and him. 2 laps to go now, and yeah, I don't know whether he's going to come out ahead or not. I think I just about managed to use the battery to its maximum, and that has allowed me to stay here in P14. But yeah, Yuki Tsunoda is still, I reckon, going to be putting a bit of pressure on us over the rest of this race as we make our way through the following 3 corners. And now we're on to the final lap, and Tsunoda is still within our DRS range. He's going to have DRS through this zone, and then if he manages to stay with us over the course of the lap, he'll have DRS into the back straight as well. So it's going to be interesting to see whether we can hold on to this for one final lap or not. Are we going to be P14? Are we going to be P15? I don't think anything more than that is going to be happening. At the moment, the reliability seems to be pretty bulletproof for a lot of these cars, so I'm not even really gaining much on DNFs and mechanical problems and stuff like that. We're having to do it all just through merit and pure driving skill, which is something that I, you know, in previous years' games, you know, I've managed to gain a few positions, maybe sneak into the points when some people have had retirements. But the only person that retired from this race was Dennis Hauger, who was, you know, probably in last or second to last anyway. I don't think Tsunoda is close enough on this occasion. 5 tenths as we get towards the braking zone. 4 tenths, nowhere near, not going to be close enough to size up a move as we come around the final couple of corners through the hairpin, and now there is just one more corner to go. I don't think Tsunoda is going to pull this off unless I make a big mistake through the final corner, but we don't do that, and we're going to round the final corner now, come up to the line and cross it to take P14 in what can only be described as a pretty disappointing race. To go from pole to P14, you know, we were heroes on Saturday, but on Sunday we were zeros, unfortunately, and hopefully we'll be able to bounce back in the following race in Azerbaijan.
It's victory in Shanghai then, and what a victory it is after an incredible Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. and that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They've performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
Another Red Bull victory then. This time it's for Max Verstappen. Might be his first victory of the season. I'm not 100% sure. I know that Perez has won a couple this season already. And yeah, I think Russell won the other race. So yeah, I believe Max Verstappen's first victory of the season. He is, of course, backed up. It's a Red Bull 1-2 and Perez there in P2. We're definitely losing this rivalry. And then it's Alonso to take P3. He's having a very strong season at the moment as well.
And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. The gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race for our championship leader. So let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for your driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, Red Bull are definitely looking like the strongest team at the moment. You know, their drivers are 1 and 2 in the championship, and they are absolutely dominating the Constructors' Championship as well. We are somehow still, you know, in the top 6 range. I think we're currently P5 ahead of Alpine, McLaren, and Haas. They're all kind of taking points off each other. If I can keep getting those strong points finishes that I've had so far this season in Australia and Bahrain, those P5s, if I can keep bagging a few, I reckon that we can maybe hold on to where we are, at least finish P6, as long as there aren't any fluke results for those teams that that kind of push us out of contention. You know, we're going to have to keep developing the car as fast as we can, but I think we are going to slip down the order a little bit, and I would be very, very surprised if we do manage to finish any higher than P6 this season, just due to the fact that now there's been that patch which actually fixes the rate of R&D gain and all that kind of thing. It's actually going to become a lot harder for me now. I did think that there was something up with it, because it seemed like we weren't getting absolutely bullied out of the championship like I expected to be. And you know, I mean, you've seen other YouTubers, I'm sure, who were even in race-winning contention despite being on those settings, and that really shouldn't happen. So yeah, it's been an interesting run, but things might be about to change. We might be about to slip down the order a little bit. Maybe this P6 was a little bit too ambitious of a target. I definitely think we could have met P8 again, but P6 might have just been a little bit of a step too far. But you know, in any case, we'll take our lessons from that. We'll learn from that, and we'll try and develop as far as we can. You know, I'm doing everything I can. I'm going to try and get some driver perks on my driver, probably the last of the driver perks, if I'm not mistaken, in the next video. And then we will, you know, we'll have maximum sort of engine wear reduction, maximum resource point boost, and maximum acclaim gain from my driver as well, which will be, you know, absolutely pivotal if we want to continue not only developing the car but also challenging for you know, consistent sort of top 7 finishes. Ideally is what we'll want if we want to bag big points every single time. So yeah, this has been a bit of a race to forget, I think, for us. Unfortunately, our first return to Shanghai in this game has not gone the way I hoped it would. But you know, we can take from that, we can learn from that, hopefully. And yeah, once we get some upgrades on the car, maybe we'll have a better time of things in the years to come. Next up is Baku, which, as I'm sure you know, did not go fantastically well for us last year either. We had a very similar thing where we just could not hold on to anything. We kept falling down the order and falling down the order, no matter how hard we tried to battle with the cars around us. There was even a lap where I believe we lost 5 positions in one lap or something ridiculous like that. So I'm not overly optimistic about our chances in Baku. But once we get past there, you know, we've got some stronger tracks for us, Miami, Spain, those kinds of ones, and I'm looking forward to those ones a little bit more. So yeah, it might be a little bit harder next time, but I hope you tune in nonetheless. And well, that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, then please make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.